Hello, everyone. I know no one's in here just yet. Um, but I just wanted to go ahead and go live, and I'm hanging out here waiting for my son. He's at school. Not a whole lot to do today, so I'm happy to have a chance to talk to you. If you are coming in, please leave a comment so that I can talk to you. I have this book with me today. This is what I'm doing. Um, while I'm in my waiting room, I need to teach myself some skills, and cheese making is one of the skills that I really need to work on. I don't have much experience with it, and so I need to really work on it. I bought a kit that includes a thermometer and cheesecloth and some rennet. I made. Hi, Tracy. Hello from Louisiana. I am hanging out here in cold Michigan, so it's good to see you. Um, I'm working on cheese making. So while I was waiting for someone to come in and have any questions, if you have questions, please put them in the chat below. Um, I'm working on my cheese making. So that is my skill this week that I'm trying to do better with is cheese making. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I used to know that I don't know as well now. So sorry about that. So we can always brush up on our skills, and there is a lot to cheese making I don't know how to do. I've made some sour cream, I've made some cottage cheese, I've made some farmer's cheese. So I want to work on doing some more. Um, I happen to have a real love of cheese. Uh, and there's a lot to it, and it's not that hard. Once you master the basics, you can work up from there. But um, it's one of the things I'm going to do this weekend is maybe make some cheese. So, does anybody have any questions? If you do, go ahead and put them in the chat below, and I'll try to address them. Um, I'm just here waiting for my son to get out of school. So I'm sitting in the truck, and it is nice and sunny today. It's actually pretty warm just sitting in the truck today. So I'm hanging out here. I thought I'd give you guys a chance to ask me any questions you have. Um, or we can talk about cheese making. Uh, but I'm very excited. My grandson is here. I don't know if I mentioned that. I can't show any pictures yet, so maybe when they give me permission, I'll be able to show a picture. Um, but he's here. I'm gonna get to go see him tonight. Tracy, I love cheese and have access to raw Jersey milk. I've only made farmer's cheese. Oh, raw Jersey. I wish I had access to raw milk. Um, I met a couple people this summer and I have a hat that says make milk raw again. And I really am behind the movement to allow raw milk to be sold in the United States. I think that's really important. And I really want to support that. And I wish I had my hat with me today. But we here in Michigan do not have access to raw milk unless we own our own cow. I think they might be a little iffy on the being able to do uh, like a cow share, but I would love to have some access. Um, if you have never made sour milk donuts and you can only do it with raw milk. You cannot do it with store-bought milk. Oh, not the same. Not at all even close to the same. Um, they're so good. My mom used to make those. And even the milk that goes sour from raw milk is so healthy for you, and it doesn't have the same really bad taste that store-bought raw milk does. But my ex-husband used to weld milk, the big trucks that they pour the milk in, and they transport them from the farmers to the dairy where they're processed. And yeah, he would not ever drink milk again. And when I think about that, I'm like, why am I drinking this? You can only buy it for pets, so hubby is your pet. That works. that is what I did with goat's milk when my son was a baby. I wanted, goat's milk for him, uh, for allergies, but of course you can't buy raw milk. So I bought milk for my pet, and my son was my pet at that time. And so I supplemented with goat's milk for him, and he did very, very well on that compared to other things. So that was good. Yeah, it's hard. I think there's not very many states. It's there's quite an industry, and then I think unfortunately it's kind of gotten to be one of those big things where there's more regulation than that's necessary. I mean, I do understand the original purposes for it, but the testing these days are, you can test for all of these things that they used to pasteurize for. I can milk, make evaporated milk, and can it and condensed milk. Yes. Yes, I love the other day we needed milk and we were out and I did not want to take everybody and run to the store. I was watching back as kids. I didn't want to take everybody and run to the store. And so having some canned milk on our shelf was very helpful. I was able to make that very, very nutritious boxed macaroni and cheese that the kids were demanding for dinner. And I did not have to go to the store. And it did not change the flavor being canned at all because it had overpowering mac and cheese. But the kids love it. I ate it when I was a kid. I'd much rather have homemade now. But the kids don't care either way. They like the homemade and they like the store bought. Have you made caramel yet though with it? If you're making your own, you can make sweetened condensed milk and then canned caramel, and that is really good. Oh my gosh, dangerous. It is dangerous to know that in the fall when the apples are in season. It is really dangerous to know that you can make your own caramel and then just dip. It's so good, but dangerous. I think I gained a little bit of weight this fall, and I had to make it two ways. I actually like it with coconut milk, sweetened condensed coconut milk better, but that was funny. I did not expect that, but I wanted to try it with sweetened condensed coconut milk. Oh, so if you're in here, be sure to hit the thumbs up and please leave a comment. YouTube has been kind of funny lately. It's not counting the views unless you leave a comment. So even if you just say hi, I would really appreciate it so that I can get my views. Yes, it does. When I was a kid, we had this coconut spread. It was a canned coconut spread, and oh, I just loved it. And I used it on my toast every morning. And that's what the caramel made with sweetened condensed coconut milk tastes like to me, is the coconut spread that was sold at Stucky stores. If anybody knows what those are, they are no longer in existence. The candy factory is still in existence. And I was surprised to find out that Bucky's sells some of their products, like the Stucky's pecan rolls, and you can still get the coconut spread online. So I may have to order that. And then I'm going to look at the ingredients list and see if I can, kind of make it my own based on my experiences with making the caramel. Oh, yep. Keep exercising, Gil. Gil has got a series going on about getting rid of the dad bod body, and so he's been doing his exercises and documenting that for all of us. If you're not familiar with Patton Family Compound, I've been going live with him on Mondays a lot lately. He's been doing a series on food preservation and different um, methods of that. And so we've been having some really good talks together on Mondays. Um, so be sure you're subscribed to both my channel and his channel. He is really close to some milestones. Speaking of which, I am 300. Hi, Jen. 300 and I miss you. Coffee tomorrow. Um, 330 away from 10K. And at 10K subscribers, it really unlocks a lot of features on YouTube for me. So if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would really, really, really appreciate it if you would subscribe. And at 10K, I am going to do some giveaways. I was planning today, I forgot to bring my computer. I was planning to go live. So if you see a pop-up live, join in as soon as soon as I have the computer. Maybe when I'm over at Jen's doing coffee tomorrow. Hey Jen, you want to give out some free memberships to the channel tomorrow with me? Um, she says yes to the coffee, so we'll see about the memberships. If I remember to bring my computer to Jen's house tomorrow, and I can't do it on the phone. I have to be in YouTube to do it, not on StreamYard. Um, I will be giving away free memberships. So look for a pop-up live tomorrow, sometime between 9 and 2, and I will be giving away memberships to the channel. I can give away from YouTube offers us that feature, and I have not given mine away yet. I need to do that, but I can only do it on the computer. Gil, when you get off the exercise machine, if you want to come up, I did put the link in the comments at the beginning. Helena M., good morning. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for commenting. So Jen, tomorrow morning, usual time, usual place. I'll bring the usual coffee, or maybe the unusual coffee. We'll do some black rifle coffee tomorrow because it's really good and it smells really good, and just smelling it wakes us up. We have plans for tomorrow. Adventures with Tammy tomorrow. I have a couple stops I need to make in town, so maybe we can do that sometime between our appointment and giving away memberships to the channel tomorrow. So, but I do have some, and this will be, you can see my, when I get to 10K, I will be giving away some merchandise. I will be giving away some superb canning lids, some packs of those. So if you're not subscribed, make sure it will be a members giveaway. So make sure that not a members giveaway, sorry, a subscriber giveaway. So make sure that you are subscribed and an active subscriber who has commented. And when I get to 10K, I will announce a subscribers giveaway. So, and then I think I'll probably do something special for members too. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Probably should. It's probably actually time to do something special for members. Maybe some merch or some canning lids or something like that. I need to get that done. Hi, Ruth Dunn. I am a. Hope I can't highlight. Okay, there we are. I'm a real newbie here, and my question is not about cheese. That's okay. It's open to anything. After I canned veggie and chicken soups, they were stacked in the kitchen for months. I'm learning they should have. Usually, I don't see the question got cut off, so I'll kind of wait for the rest of the question. If you can stack them 4 high, just so you know. I usually take my rings off because you want to take your rings off, wash the lids, and then put them away in my basement because that's where I store them. I have a very dry, cool basement, and that's out of light, and that's where I like to store them. So, hey, the budget preppers, welcome. Come on in. Grow Big TV. Hi, Joe. Come on in. Oh, should have been stored. And here's the rest of her question. Ruth's question. They should have been stored in the dark. Are they still good? And when did you say they were? They're still good. Okay. The problem with light is it's going to change the color and the aesthetic appeal more than anything else. So yes, they're still good to use to eat. And you can go ahead and just, get them put away, put them in the dark. It'll help preserve the vitamins longer, and it will help preserve the aesthetics of the food because when it comes to appetite, the presentation is quite a bit of the food in the appetite and the appeasing part of, wanting to eat things. So it is important, but it's not crucial. Oh goodness. Cheer drama. Let me see. I think there's somebody. There's Gil.
Hey,
Hi, Gil.
hey, yeah, got my video finished, edited, and posted. So,
Nice. Nice.
yeah.
I have one in the works that you might like. It's the 30 top homesteading skills people should know before they start homesteading. So if you're in that,
Let's see. Should also, those skills should also apply to anybody who thinks they're a real prepper.
yes, yes. Or anybody who just wants to survive in today's economy.
Yeah,
I mean, you can live in the middle of a big city skyrise, and some of these still apply to you if you want to, be successful in this economy, you know.
Joe's here.
Yep.
There we go. If anybody's wondering why I'm looking over here, because over here I got the YouTube up, and here I got StreamYard up. So when I make my comments, I type in over here.
Yeah, I was supposed to bring my computer today. I have memberships to give away, and I have not done it because I've not been live off my computer. I always just bring my phone for this thing.
I've
So
tried off my computer, and it won't allow me to give away memberships on either of my channels.
that's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, what I got to do, but I've going. I'm trying to do it, and it says, "Oh, yeah, you got to pay to give these away." It's like it's my channel. I'm supposed to have 10 to give away. Of course, it also
Um,
asks me to join my channel too every time I go in on it.
I am told that if you go ahead like you're still going to do it past that dollar sign amount on the computer, then it doesn't charge your account. It you have to
Yeah,
get past that where it tells you that. Anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna
yeah.
try it. We'll see. Jen, do you want me to bring out? I have pickling lime. We could preserve some in pickling lime. It's not a canning thing, but we could lime the eggs. They get really slimy. I don't like it, but they keep 6 months that way. I know you're getting 14 a day, so or if you want, we could pickle some. I can bring the pickling spices over. I know you got canning jars. I can bring vinegar and pickling spices over, and we could do some pickled eggs. So think about it. Do they want
Yeah.
hot and spicy? Do they want mustard? Let me know.
Oh, get over here real quick on the other computer. Yeah, I got a computer on this side too.
uh, just in case everybody was wondering, Budget Preppers just unlocked their memberships today. So they're launching those soon. If you are not subscribed to the Budget Preppers, you need to get over there and subscribe to them too. They have a lot of interesting things going on, and you don't want to miss it. So check them out as well. Oops, get that.
Well,
There we go.
here's a little fun fact for canning. Of course, on Monday we're going to be doing. You're going to be joining me on Monday for the canning thing.
Yes.
Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. So the topic for that is tempered glass jars and cookware. And I've been getting misinformation from one company. Stephanie emailed somebody there, and the person gave it sounded like a corporate, cover up email back saying none of our stuff is tempered. But on their website, I found where it says their stuff is still tempered, but it is soda lime glass, not that the other one. And then this is the company that bought out Pyrex.
Well, here's the thing with
the soda lime doesn't temper as good as the other stuff does, the old stuff. But it tempers better than some of the plain glass that like Ball's using now.
Well, Pyrex at one time had a line of stovetop dishes that were tempered. They were a brown
Yeah.
glass, and I actually almost, if I had been in the room when that exploded, I would be dead. And I own those. I got them for a wedding present. They were brand new, less than 6 months old. I turned off my electric stove. I had it on the stove. I'd cook some soup in the pan, turned it off, walked out of our apartment, which our apartment kitchen, you could touch one counter. You didn't have to reach your arms out to touch one counter side from the other counter side. It was a galley kitchen. It was
Hmm.
probably 6 feet long, maybe, not really. It
Hmm.
had a stove by the door, counter. Behind the stove was the refrigerator with counter on each side of it. Like, that was it. I
Yeah.
don't think we even had a dishwasher and maybe a sink in there somewhere next to the stove. That was like it. But
Yeah.
couple sets of cupboards, and I walked out of there to use the bathroom, and that thing exploded and it embedded in the wall behind the stove.
What year was this about?
I know exactly what year it was. Cameron was born in June of '88, and it was in
Okay.
January of '88.
All right.
I was
That
pregnant with her.
that was after um, Anchor Hawking bought Pyrex and stopped using the other
Yeah,
the whatever I can't remember it pronounce it. It begins with a B, and that's the good glass.
yeah,
And they stopped using that. They went totally um, the soda lime
yeah, yeah.
glass.
But if I would have been dead, it embedded in the
Yeah.
wall. I would have been
Yeah.
dead. I would have been standing that close to it. I would have.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
All
Those.
right. You got a question there from budget preppers. Or so no, someone
Oh,
before them. Budget prepper answered
how
part.
can?
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can I prevent potatoes getting darker after canning? Um, that's a hard one. It really the start. I can't control the starch. It depends on where the potatoes were grown, what season they were picked in, or how long they were stored before you use them, because that affects how the starch breaks down, and you really can't do much about getting them not to darken. You know, obviously the best case scenario to prevent that is to buy or grow your own very fresh potatoes and can them very fresh. The longer they've sat in these storage barns, they have these great big, they're not really underground storage barns, but they're almost underground storage barns.
It's sort of like a
They
Wallapini. It's
Yes,
about
like
4 or 5 feet down under and down, dug out, and then has a roof, and they pile dirt up on the roof,
yes,
and they
almost like an
to
old root
protect it.
cellar, on the size of like a 90 to 110 feet barn. I live in potato country here in Michigan. This is one of the best areas to grow potatoes here in Michigan. So we actually have a great
Yeah.
potato crop here in Michigan. Lovely sandy soil. Um, but the minerals in those potatoes from where they're grown have an effect. And then the longer the potato sits in storage, the more that starch has converted into like a sugar. So then when you can the potatoes and you heat that sugar, that starch that's now a sugar, it caramelizes and it darkens the potatoes. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some tricks where they soak them in lime. You can obviously blanch them and then change out the water before you can them to help. But if depending on how long they were in storage, it's not going to help.
All right. Yeah, and that's what budget prepper says. They blanch theirs before it helps hold the color better. Um, Brian has says has I guess it's sort of a question there. I had a cheese recipe, but it doesn't. Yeah.
But I don't remember what kind of cheese. I think any, but don't remember for how long. I think the easiest cheese to make is cottage cheese. And then the second easiest cheese to make is mozzarella. So the
But
soft cheeses are easier.
yeah, but for canning them,
Oh, for for canning. Sorry, I meant that part. I missed that part because we were talking before you came in about the um I have recanned nacho cheese sauce. I have canned cream cheese, and I have canned a Velveeta. I make my own Velveeta that I can. You can also I've also canned like cheddar cheeses where you melt the cheese down and
mm-hmm.
can it. And I have done several videos on each of those. So just check the channel for those recipes. It's in my milk, butter, and cheese playlist, and I have recipes included in those videos. I know Cam isn't that old. When you have so many kids, you misspeak the names. It was Jess, not Cam. That was my first pregnancy.
Okay, let me see here. If I can find this here.
Potatoes are awesome for canning, and there's so much you can do with them. That is a great deal on potatoes.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna drop the link to your that playlist.
Oh, thank you.
Controls. Control C. And there it is. That's linked to her milk, butter, and dairy playlist, and it has 12 videos in it.
Yeah, working on more. I have this book on making cheese, and then I got a cheese making kit. I didn't have the thermometer. I have the cheesecloth and stuff. I just did not have a good thermometer, and I've even bought the rennet a while back. But I got a kit that had the thermometer, more cheesecloth, and more rennet. It had two styles of rennet in it. So hopefully this weekend I'll be making some cheese.
Yeah. Joe, um, Doctor, oh,
Paula?
no, not Paula, um, Berg, Dr. Berg, um, was talking about how the different types of cheese affects your health, and he mentioned gout. So it was about a year ago, but I remember that because that's when I first started following him, um, Dr. Eric Berg.
Now if you suffer from gout, um, tart pie cherries, not the black sweet cherries, but eat a lot of tart pie cherries.
Mm-hmm. And someone was talking about the tart. Was it tart cherry juice,
Mm-hmm.
or was it something else that But it was there was some tart off the trees that
Yes.
stuff helps with gout.
Yeah, it's the tart ones, and not the dark sweet ones, but the really tart pie cherries. Usually, you can buy those in the freezer section any time of year, and that might be beneficial for you. I can't say because, of course, I am not a healthcare provider, nor am I offering medical advice.
Yeah,
But if it
you
was
just
me,
tell them to go
that's what
check
I
go
do.
to go check with their doctor, especially if
Yes,
their
of
doctor's
course.
not a pill pusher.
you know, I'm just
All
saying, if
right,
it was me, that's what I would do first.
there we go. All right. All right, Joe, here is the link for Dr. Berg, um, for his channel. Yeah, you have to figure. He's got a lot. He puts out a lot of videos on diet and stuff like that. So you'd have to check on that or comment on it on one of his videos. Ask him, where were you talking about different cheeses affecting the body, and then he'll reply back to you on it. Yeah. All right.
So just make that pie you can't eat all of out of tart cherries.
Okay. Helena asked, how long do you pressure can potatoes for in quarts?
Oh, it's been so long. Helena, I have a confession to make. I don't remember the time, and I don't have any of my books with me. I'm very sorry, but if you go to the Facebook group, they will help you. I got 300 pounds of potatoes given to me. I did mention I'm here in the heart of potato country. My friend's daughter was harvesting, and I got to go glean the field after they were done harvesting it. And I canned 300 pounds of potatoes, and I have a lifetime supply of potatoes taking up a large portion of my jars in my basement. And it has been 5 years, and I still have not had to can any more potatoes. So I don't remember that off the top of my head.
I'm
Um,
looking.
I want to say 60 minutes, but I don't want to give you a time because I can't remember.
I'm looking it up in.
Thanks, Gil.
Okay, all right. Vegetables, peas, pumpkins. No potatoes. So that'll be probably in one of the other sites here. Say list.
But yeah, it's been so long I can't remember that one. That's not one I use frequently enough to have it off the top of my head.
Okay. It's not listing potatoes specifically. It says sweet potatoes 60 minutes, squash is 60 minutes, in a pressure
I'm pretty
canner
sure. Yeah, white potatoes is the same as sweet potatoes. It's 60 minutes. I was right.
60 minutes. Yeah,
I just did not want to
yeah, and that's
give
what
an answer unless I
at,
was certain of it.
and that's at 10 pounds.
Yeah, well, it depends on your altitude. That the
Yeah,
pounds of pressure is going to depend on your altitude. If you live at higher altitudes, you have to increase that.
right.
So all those mountainous people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, yes, cheesecake with lots of cherries. Oh, budget prepper said pints 35 minutes, quarts 40. So
Yeah.
just kind of depends on what book you get it from. I try to use
Yeah.
Ball as much as possible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I got the PDF for the old curb book here. That's easy to pull that up quick. And somewhere, I think I can't remember where I stored it now. But also, I got this was the 1943 one. I also have a 1965 one as well. I just can't find out where I stored it at, or it's on the other computer.
just note that everything is the same except fish. And they did increase the fish time from 90 minutes to 110. So if you're using those
Yeah,
older books, everything is basically the same except the fish times.
yeah,
Rhonda had a question. If a seal seems good, but there's some slight leakage around the rim, what does that mean? I've had this happen with a can of tomato sauce and a can of chicken. Are is this like right after you take it out of the canner, or is this after it's been in storage? Because if it's been in storage, it is bad and you need to take it out. But if it's before you've wiped it off and you've just brought it out of the canner, that happens sometimes. In while the process of sealing, it forces some of the liquid out, um, and that's perfectly normal. Wipe it off and then just watch it. But if it has happened while it's in storage, you'd wiped it off, you put it in storage, and then you see leakage around the rim, it is a bad seal, and that jar is not any good.
yeah. And after being in storage, she says, just typed in.
Oh yeah, I would toss those. I wouldn't trust them.
Yeah,
You,
better safe than sorry.
yep, that would be a bye bye. I've had that happen a lot with pie filling lately.
Hmm.
I've had some incidents with pie filling, and I never had that before. But pie filling's kind of a pain in my butt when it comes to canning sometimes. So,
Yeah.
and I reused the lid, so I know part of my problem was probably because I reused the lid.
Come on. I don't recognize that number. Bye bye.
Oh, I had the cutest phone call the other day, and it came up as spam. I answered it, And then there's just a little kid giggling on the end of the line, and it hung up. And I'm like, that's the best spam I've had in a long time.
Yeah.
But oh, it's persistent
Someone from
spam.
Philly. Okay, boom, decline. I don't recognize that number.
Oh, they're getting insistent again.
Yeah.
We had it easy for a while, and now the spam calls are back. Oh.
Now I got one from Illinois right after it.
Oh. My phone number is not really attached to the area in Michigan that I live,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice. It's attached to a different zip code, area code. And so it's kind of nice because when I get calls from that area, I don't know anybody that lives in that area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mine is from California still.
oh yeah, so then it's
Yeah.
spam.
But the first two was know anybody in that town other than the ones that have their name typed in. So if it comes up without a name, I know it's like, I don't know you.
No.
And then the other one was from Illinois, and that was had something or other 3,000. Oh, that's business. No.
Well, here's the funny thing. I think phone companies really encourage these kind of spam calls because
Yeah.
we both know that if enough people report it, they could shut them down.
Yeah.
But they don't. They don't do anything for the customer.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like I'm kind of at the point where I'm very frustrated with that. Same with online stuff. If a certain IP address is causing a lot of issues, websites like Facebook and YouTube should shut them down, block them.
Yeah.
And they don't. That it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And then what was funny is when I was still working for Homeland Security, we had our emergency cell phones there, which are Homeland Security cell phones.
mm-hmm.
And I had someone called. I go, you're calling a number on the block list. Oh, no, 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 no. I go, this is a Homeland Security government block phone. It's permanently blocked by the federal government. Oh, click.
Yeah. No, not good. Don't do this.
Yeah,
Don't call here. This is not
yeah,
good for yeah.
yeah. So I had fun with it. Since I had the number locked in there, I called my friend over at the FBI. I said, hey, you gonna have fun? Here's a number. You call them. They're calling federal numbers and tell them we're not blocked.
No.
So he had their office call that number a whole bunch of times. Everybody in the office was calling that number. This is the FBI. Why are you calling this? Calling federal numbers.
Roll, rascal.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
It is so peaceful here, and I'm sitting in the middle of the woods. It is so peaceful here. I just really enjoy when I get to come up here to my son's school and sit. I wish you guys could all see it. It's sunny today. There's a little bit of snow. It's almost melted off, but not in the woods. And it's really still, so the trees aren't even moving or the leaves or anything.
Yeah. We were supposed to be getting snow last night. Today didn't get any. Um, it's semi overcast, but yeah, just about all the snow has been melted because we've had several days of rain.
It's supposed to get up to 50 degrees today.
Yeah.
It's going to be like summer today.
Yesterday it got up to 49 yesterday.
I was outside all day yesterday and it got up to 45. And it was cold. And when I went home, I was cold and I just wanted hot soup and my blankets. It was so cold. Hi, Lewis. It's the Marshmallow Man is here. Hi.
Yeah. I had a can of green beans, looked great, had a great seal.
Hmm. I
Hmm.
have not. That's not something I've heard of before. No ideas on that one. I'm sorry, Rhonda. I can't help you with that one.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That
Did you
Now, with
questions?
question, was that home canned or was that commercially canned? That was home canned, and she was cooking them again or reheating them.
Yeah.
Looked a little blistered, huh?
Thanks, Chipper, for making a comment and for lurking. Home canned. And just out of curiosity, just I'm no judgments here, but did you pressure can them? Just asking, because not everybody does. There's different ways, and that's okay. We're all rebels.
My daughter learned that the hard way. She canned some green beans, water bath them, and someone told her they only needed to be in for an hour in water bath.
Yeah, you can't use pressure cook times for water bath. You gotta
Yeah,
you gotta use the right time for the right method. Video on that, the golden rule. Um, and you have to, you should always, if you're water bathing them, you should always cook them after. Yes, gotta pressure can the beans. That's fine. I was just asking. Oh, I have a funny story. You want to hear a funny story? I have a funny
sure.
story. Let me.
Sure.
So my nephew is 2 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we were raised together, but then he got married, and his new wife, he didn't spend a lot of time with the family. She passed away a couple of years back, and he is now dating a family friend that we also grew up with. They live together. So I went out the other day to go quilting, and so we're back in touch and I'm spending more time with that part of the family because I'm still really good friends with Ruthie. And I went out there, and he goes, I have a question for you. I'm like, okay. Do you reuse your lids? And I looked at him, I said, and I'm wearing this sweatshirt. I'm like, you really do. Do you know what I do when I'm not hanging out here? Do you know who I am? Like, are you in my Facebook group? What kind of, we're on Facebook. What kind of canning groups are you in? Like, you grew up in this family. Like, dude, I taught you to can. What are you doing?
It's like, have you read my books?
No, he hasn't. I don't. He has not read my books. I know he has not read my books, but I'm not really sure he's in my Facebook group. And he's like, "Do you do that?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do that all the time." I said, "He goes on everything." I said, "No, I save them and use them for, like, when I'm doing canned tomatoes or when I'm doing jelly or jam or something." I said, "I don't use them for my meat. Reuse them because that meat costs too much money." I said, I don't want to, take a risk at all with my losing a meat, but I don't care if I lose a jar of tomatoes or lose a jar of jam if I didn't inspect it perfect enough to know that I could reuse that lid. But yeah, I reuse lids all the time. I said, I've got some lids I know I've reused 7 times because I marked on it to make sure to see I was doing a quality control check for a certain brand. And I'm like, I know I've used them at least 7 times. I said, you can use them. You just have to really look them over. And then I told him the trick with the baking soda to poof up the ball ones. And he's like, I didn't know that. And I'm like, well, you should have been hanging out with me the last 30 years.
Oh,
Like, do you know? I'm like, do you know me at all? How do you not know this about me? Of course I reuse my lids and my jars and all sorts of stuff. I was
yeah,
just like,
and if the jelly goes bad, you can always just melt some paraffin wax and pour it on top and seal it that way.
well, the jelly, yeah. I I went to a friend's house, and his grandmother had been dead for 20 years, and I was helping him clean out her house. And she had died, and his son had moved into the house. Well, then his son passed away. So I was helping him clean out grandma's house that had never been cleaned out from when grandma moved out, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And there was jelly in there. We opened it and ate it. It still was paraffin wax, but it's still, because of the way it was stored, the paraffin wax was still sealed around it. We opened it up and ate it just to see if it was still as good as the day she canned it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it's it's amazing the how long things last. I've told this on my live stream several times. Back in '72, we got several dozen flats of pears, and
Hmm.
my mom was canning pears for weeks, and she had a bunch of half-gallon jars. We had half-gallon jars of canned pears and stuff. And so this is in '72.
Right.
Then in the following summer, we moved to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, and we had a smaller house there. So that stuff all got packed away, never got opened there. Then a couple of years later, after I graduated from high school, we moved to Northern California, and it got moved there, and it got put in the store back in one of the storage rooms and stuff because everything was still kind of and
Right.
everything. And we finally pulled up, after several more years, we started going through pulling stuff out of storage to put it away when they got the new house put on the property. And we pulled out the jars. Pears. I put them on the in the one pantry cupboard, and they got pushed to the back because they were the big
The
jars,
big ones. Yeah.
big ones, and that small stuff was in front. And it was a couple more years later, and my nieces and nephews started being born and getting older and stuff, and they saw the jam and stuff that was being made. Oh, you got anything else? And it's like, ding, and we pulled out one of those jars. I mean, it looked like it was canned the week.
Yeah.
It was just and this is so you're looking now from '72. You're looking like 82, 83,
Yeah.
and it was absolutely perfect. Of course, these were the good Kerr jar, the good Kerr lids from way back when, the ones that weigh twice as much as the ones now do.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just absolutely perfect, and they hadn't changed color at all or anything else, and yeah, so
Yeah.
I laugh when I see the things now good for 18 months. Oh, you cut it down to 18 months
Everything
from
had my okay. Okay. This is how I feel about this, and I just discussed it at the grocery store with somebody at the discount grocery store with a lady last week. Isn't it wonderful that that Himalayan sea salt that's been on a rock on a mountain for the last 2,000 years, they got it, put it in a jar, and by golly, you better buy it and eat it in the next 6 months before it expires. Isn't it glad they found it right before it expired? It's like
mm-hmm,
this. Some of the things they put expiration dates on are absolutely ridiculous.
mm-hmm.
But by law, it has to have an expiration date. Now
or
even
or
candy
or a
goods.
best use by date, and
Yes.
that's where that's where someone got paid off to
Hmm.
put that out there.
And all the time, the energy, the resources to stamp that on there is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
For some, not for every item. There are some items it's very necessary for. But for those that it isn't, like salt, really, table salt is not going to expire ever, ever
No,
in any century
yeah,
unless you do something to damage it.
like add iodine to it.
Yeah. Don't get me started on that soapbox.
Now, something here that everybody might be interested in. Um, I saw on Facebook. I'm not sure. I think it may have been yours. Someone made a comment about my stainless steel rings are rusting. First thing popped in my mind: if it's stainless steel, it's not going to rust. So it's poor quality. And somebody else fired in right away. I'm almost, it was like within 5 minutes of them posted and say, it's the same thing. If it's rusting, it's not true stainless steel. And they posted a thing for a company called Trellis and Company
Hmm.
that is stainless steel. And she goes, mine have never rusted in years and everything else. I don't know if you ever heard of that. the
I had
trellis.
not heard of that, but I can tell you why they rust. Because the metal used in the lid does not match the metal used
Yeah,
on the rings. Even if you buy them from the same company, because of the process in forming the lids, the rings, they're not the same metals and the same um, amalgamation. Is that the right word I'm looking for? It's blend of metals. It
yeah,
is not the same blend of metals, and because of that, the 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 length of contact will cause them to rust. And that
yeah,
is one of the primary reasons why they suggest you take your rings off your canning jars as soon as you're done and you've got your 24 hours are done and you've got your seal because they
yeah.
will
Because
rust.
yeah, you get the electrolysis between the two different metals.
Oxidize.
Yeah,
Oxidation. There's the word I'm looking for.
yeah,
Give me Give me three guesses and I can spit out my vocabulary. Good thing I'm not at the spelling bee. I don't have to say it right to spell it.
yeah. But yeah, so I was so I looked them up. They have them, but that's they're stamped stainless steel um, mason jar lids, both in wide mouth and regular ones. And then they have the other ones. Actually, let me just show this if you can share.
Um,
Should pop up down below where I was.
see what I got here. I don't know if I can do it from my phone.
You brought
Oh,
me up
there we
here,
go.
so you should be able to. Yeah,
There.
okay. So there are the rings, Trellis and Company, and they're stainless steel. But here's the other ones they have: the solid lids as well.
Oh, the lug lids.
Yeah,
Now that would
and
be good.
yeah, and the you know also all stainless steel.
Hmm.
Did
Yeah,
not stuff on it, so
interesting. I'd be interested to see if somebody independently has tested them to see if they're all stainless steel because they are not priced anywhere near what I would think they would be if they were all stainless steel.
yeah, that's what I was wondering. Now that one looks stainless steel, but that one doesn't.
No. And $29, you're not with the price of steel right now.
Yeah,
I can't believe that stainless steel that would be $29. I would
and
expect
and it has
more
stamped
like
in it as 316 stainless steel, but yeah, it's only 12 of them for for $30. So
I don't know. That still doesn't seem
yeah,
the price seems a little make me question it just a little bit. I would think they'd be more there we go. Be more pricey than that, but
let me check one other thing. I'm going to go down here. Lifetime guarantee. Um, well, where's the other information on it here? Um, Charles Company as an ASIN number, and looking to see if it has. Yeah, sometimes Amazon will put more things or have a little thing on the way down to the bottom where it says uh, where it was actually manufactured. That's what I'm trying to find here. Let's see here. Okay, today for it's not saying country of manufacture on it.
yeah, that's not a good sign.
Um, hmm. I was just kind of wondering about those, if you'd heard anything about those or not.
No, I had not. I have not. I love my Superb lids, and I'm really sticking with my Superb lids.
Yeah.
I did get some other lids sent to me this week to try,
Hmm.
and I have not tried them yet. So I need to do that, because they did send them to me, and I appreciate that. It came with a vacuum sealer, so I do want to try them. But I absolutely love my Superb lids. They're made in Ohio. I've been to the factory. I've seen them made, and the quality, I have not seen anything even remotely close to the same quality as Superb.
Yeah.
Superb is in a class by themselves for quality.
Yes.
So,
The lug lid ones, the full lid says they come with where is it here again? I just was looking around. Comes with what uh uh 100% waterproof thanks to our removable food grade silicone gasket.
okay. So those would not, you wouldn't can in those. Those are for storage.
Okay.
I don't think that they would, if it's removable. I don't think that you would be able to can in those. I'll have to give some look into them and some research on it. But I don't think that those are designed for canning.
Okay. For storage, dried goods, and pickling.
Oh yeah, and they would be good for. They would be very good for all of those things.
Yeah. But yeah,
The
I mean,
silicone
just
would break down the temperature and pressure we'd want to can with.
yeah, yeah. So okay, so that is for pickling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Which reminds me,
fermenting.
I gotta go check my my sauerkraut and see how it's doing.
Ooh,
When I checked it several days back, it was about my I guess it's been about 5 days since I checked it, and it really didn't smell like sauerkraut.
not
So
yet.
not yet.
Hmm.
So, but I mean, you had little bubbles that were, when I took the lid off, you can see the little bubbles where stuff had been gassing off, in
Ooh,
it. So,
I bought a. What is it? I can't remember because I can't remember the number on it. But I bought one of the biggest crocks they make for
mhm,
sauerkraut, and I got the pounder, and it came with a wooden lid that the man had made to put on it, and I just love that crock. I have not made any sauerkraut in it yet, but I love that crock.
yeah. What I let's see, to the orders and go see if that comes up there. Yeah, yeah. So what I got was a half-gallon ceramic crock,
Mhm.
and comes with the wooden pounder thing, but it has two half ceramic things that you can fit down inside to
Weights,
put on
the
top to
ceramic
weight.
weights. Yep,
Yeah.
that's nice because that keeps everything. There's a low flying. That's not the Red Baron, okay?
That's a crop
I,
duster.
I don't know if you can hear it, but he just dive bombed me here. But that is not the Red Baron. Snoopy
Yeah.
is not on top of that plane. Um, uh, ceramic weights. Yeah, the weights are really important because to keep the kraut from molding or spoiling
Yeah.
or getting that kiln yeast in it, it's really important to keep all of the cabbage below the level of the liquid.
Yeah.
So,
And there is a few pieces that were floating on top, that I just that wouldn't go down with it, but they're not molding. I don't see any mold on those.
and
And this one,
if it's just that scummy scum, I mean it's gonna get it eventually.
yeah,
You can skim that off.
yeah. Let me go ahead and throw this up here. Share, boom, boom. Okay, there it is. So that's the one I got. And come on, get off that. Ah, I wish it wouldn't do that. So for some reason, it's picking up stuff down here I don't want it to pick up. There we go. Okay, so this one here has a
Oh,
compression
nice.
around there, so
Hmm.
you fill it with water
Yes.
after you put it on there, and it keeps stuff from bubble other stuff in the air from getting into it.
Right. It
But
can outgas, but it can't break unless it's
it's got
because
to
it's
suck all.
yeah
It's got to suck. It ain't going to suck all that water in.
water. Yeah, it's got a water seal.
But so yeah, and so yeah, so
That is
that's
not a bad price.
yeah, and yeah. So I got the half gallon or 5 liter one, which
I
I
want to.
when I was doing it, I had this big head of cabbage. Just like this ain't going to. I want probably want to use about half this. Well, after I ran it through and I shredded it up and started packing it down in there, it's like, dang, it's all going to fit in here.
That's right. It's amazing how that works. It's just amazing. I'm like, but my crock is like a 20-gallon crock, so like I want to try doing the whole heads of cabbage, not and pickling whole heads of cabbage one of these summers.
Oh, so in one piece, not doing it.
Yep, all in one piece.
Cool. Yeah. Then it's yeah. Anyways, that's what I got. So I got to be going there and check it after the live here and see what it looks like now. It's just that because on several of on several of the recipes I found online, and some of them went into real detail on how to do everything and everything else on it. Temperature varies on what they say to do, but most of them said 3 to 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ones,
Yeah,
but it gets too cool, it may take a little longer. So
right.
you need to keep it up to a certain temperature.
It's a balance. And then the longer it sits, the stronger kraut it will get.
Yeah,
So you kind of have to figure out where you like it at.
yeah. I bought a jar at the store just to to prep myself for the taste, and it's like open up the jar, it's like this is bland. This is ugh. This isn't
Yeah,
like
it's not
anything I remember as a kid that had a
right.
bite to it.
Okay, I'm going to send you back to that same grocery store aisle we talked about the other day that doesn't exist, but once you find it, you realize where it is. Now, next to like the hot dogs and the lunch meats,
Mm-hmm.
they do have a fermented sauerkraut that is bagged that still has all of the probiotics.
That's what I was looking for, and it says this store has it, but I even asked the last time I was in there, and someone goes, "Oh, I haven't never seen that in here. All I see is the jars on the shelf."
Yeah. No, go over by the hot dogs and the bologna and the
I
kids'
did.
Lunchables, and it's supposed to be
It may have been that
down.
this store isn't carrying it right now. Is what maybe what's going on.
Yeah. It's not on the shelf, it's down in the case, like at the bottom of the
Yeah, and
case. Not on the
right,
shelf,
yeah,
but in the refrigerated section. And in our store, it's right there on the wall, the refrigerator, and it's at the bottom with the hot
yeah.
dogs
So
and
yeah,
the
the person told me, yeah, that this one along the wall. This is aisle A30,
yeah.
and so I went over there and I looked and I asked someone else that was stocking it, and they go, "I've never seen that here. All I've seen is
Well,
the stuff out on the other shelves." So they may have been not.
maybe they don't carry it. Like, here's the thing though, like, why is it named A30? Because it's right next to A5, and the produce at the front of the store is A29. So why is A30 at the back of the store with the milk and not, why didn't they
Yeah,
number them
yeah.
chronologically in
Well,
order as you walk
this
through
one
the store?
starts at A1 at the front, goes back to A28 is for the actual aisles. There's no
Mhm.
A29 listed or A30. Well, the one across the back turns out is A29, and the one on the side is A30. So this one they went from front to back and then brought it up the side.
Well, no, in ours it goes from front to back, but then produce is numbered out of order and it's in the front of the store. It's
Yeah.
really, and then you're back in the back of the store again. It's just like, I don't know, the whole number. I don't get me started.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a
One,
feeling that this particular, because there's two stores up there in Idaho Falls, and
see,
I usually go to the one because it's over by my bank.
mhm.
I have a feeling that they're just not stocking it in that store, so I'm going to go check the other store out here the next time I'm up there.
Jen agrees with me. It's over by the hot dogs and the smoked sausage, the
I
kielbasa.
I can see that, especially with the bratwurst. It should be right next to the bratwurst.
Exactly. That's why it's there. It's the bag stuff though, and there's
Yeah,
different size bags. But yeah, I don't know why your store isn't doing it because both of ours in the two towns
yeah,
I go to have it in the same
yeah.
spot.
Well, the one thing I have noticed about both these stores, because the one is on the west side of town of Idaho Falls, the other one's on the east side. Just actually, it's across the street, so it's not in Idaho Falls. It's in Ammon.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they carry a lot of different things. Both the one carries a lot of canning stuff, the other one doesn't.
It's probably in the other store then.
Yeah, so I got to go check the other store.
Yeah. Well, we have been on here over an hour. He is
Yep.
due to come out, and
Okay.
so I am going to go ahead and say goodbye. Thanks for coming up, Gil. Thank you everybody for being in the chat. Jennifer, I will see you tomorrow for coffee. Usual place, usual time. I'll bring Black Rifle tomorrow. And oh, that coffee is so good. They don't pay me. They don't have to pay me to say it. It's good. I know. I'm sorry,
All right.
Gil.
No. I am a coffee virgin. It has never passed my lips. I've
We'll
smelled
see.
it, and it's like, okay, it might be good for a potpourri, but that's as far, it's like,
Well, as far as potpourri goes, this coffee is probably the best aroma of a coffee I've ever smelled.
yeah.
So, all right. See y'all later. Goodbye.